All right, folks, this might be the last instructional video here for 2019-2020 school year. If I'm making another video, it's probably going to describe what you need to turn in, grading. I don't know. Everything's available, folks. There are no excuses. 99% of the answers are online. And read your emails. It gives you all the instructions and whatever can happen to your grade, all in the emails. This is Chapter 9, Game Plan, page 6. In the previous one, you wrote down the directions given the equation of a conic section. That's if I slice a cone different ways, I can get a hyperbola, ellipse, circle, or parabola. In standard form, name it. Circle, hyperbola, or ellipse. You need to write the equation down. You're not dividing x squared or y squared by anything. It doesn't equal 1. That is a circle. You are dividing x squared and y squared by something. It does equal 1. It's not a circle, but there's a plus in between, so it's an ellipse. I'm going to be quick with these, so pause it whenever you need to. This is a circle because you're not dividing x squared or y squared by anything, and it equals not 1. 17 is the circle. You are dividing x squared and y squared by something. It does equal 1. There's that negative in between. It's got to be a hyperbola. You are dividing x squared and y squared by something. It does equal 1, but there's a plus in between. Now, that's an ellipse. It's not set equal to 1. X squared and y squared, they're both positive. That's definitely a circle. They're both squared. All right. 19, you're dividing x squared and y squared by something. So you have an a squared and a b squared down below. It's set equal to 1, but you got a plus in between. That's an ellipse. Very easy questions. X squared and y squared would be divided by something. It's not a circle. It equals 1. Definitely not a... That doesn't eliminate it from being a circle, but you're dividing it, which is not a... means it's not a circle. You are subtracting in the middle, though. It's a hyperbola. You're not dividing x squared and y squared by something. It doesn't equal 1. That is a circle. You are dividing x squared and y squared by something. It equals 1. There's a subtraction sign in between. That's a hyperbola. You are not dividing x squared and y squared by something. It's set equal to something that's not 1. That's a circle. And last one on this page, you're dividing x squared and y squared by something. It's set equal to 1. That's an ellipse. Because there's a plus in between as well. That's an ellipse. That was page 6. And the last 2 pages. Here we go. 25 through 30. Given the equation of a circle states the center and the radius. You might need radical form. That's the equation. Write it down. Remember, it's always the opposite. X minus 2 squared means the center is 2, comma. Y plus 7 squared means the y coordinate of your center is negative 2. If r squared is 36, so the radius is 6. Have seen these on the ACT plenty of times where they give this equation and ask what's the center and the radius. Center here would be negative 4, 3. R squared is 64. R is 8. Center here would be negative 1, negative 2. If r squared is 25, then r is 5. Again, pause this whenever you need to. There's no number with x squared. That means the center is 0, comma, 6. Radius squared is 100. The radius is 10. Center is 3, negative 7. If r squared is 50, it's the square root of 50 or 5 root 2. That's the best answer. That's root 50 is fine for now. The center here would be 6, negative 8. If r squared is 49, the radius is 7. And the last few questions, folks, on this page, then followed by a short next page. 31 through 36, given the center and radius, write the equation of a circle. Literally the opposite of what we just did. So if the center is negative 2, negative 4, it's going to be x minus a negative 2 squared plus y minus a negative 4 squared equals the radius 5 squared. That's how it simplifies. 32, folks. The center is x minus 3 squared plus y minus a negative 7 squared. It's equal to the square root of 17 squared. If you square the square root of 17, that's just 17. Here's 33, x minus 0 squared, or x squared, plus y minus a negative 4 squared, is just y plus 4 squared, equals 3 squared, which is 9. 34, you got x minus 6 squared, plus y minus a negative 1 squared is 8 squared. 8 squared is 64. 34, x minus a negative 5 squared is x plus 5 squared, plus y minus 4 squared. 17 squared is 289. The center is 8, 0. Then it's x minus 8 squared plus y minus 0 squared is just y squared. 4 squared would be 16. That is Chapter 9, Game Plan, page 7, which I know you titled that page or that section as, and you made this clear as day for me to read. The final page and the final game plan of the year, page 8, writes Chapter 9, Game Plan, page 8. This is, I think, 37. A circle has a center of -3, -2, and it passes through 7, 3. Write its equation in standard form. If I know the center is -3, -2, then it's going to be x minus a -3 squared plus y minus a -2 squared is equal to the radius squared. So it's x plus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals r squared. I know to plug in 7 for x and 3 for y. Do that arithmetic. 125 is equal to the radius squared, and that's what I want for its equation. Here is the very last question. A circle has a center of -3, 1, and passes through 6, -7. Write its equation in standard form. The center is -3, 1. X minus a -3 squared is x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared. That's equal to r squared. So that's x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared is the radius squared. I know it goes through 6 for x and -7 for y, so substitute 6 in for x, -7 in for y. Do that arithmetic. -8 squared is 64. Be careful. And holy cow, folks, there is my final equation. Now, in this Chapter 9 game plan, it had 8 pages and only 51 questions. So, folks, you have a lot of time to give me this. So don't turn it in with only 70% done, because whatever you turn into me first, I'm going to grade it like that. Unless there's things I can't read and I tell you, hey, submit this again. Okay, you have time. I just want it done before. Currently, I think like May 15th, and if that's the case, you'll get your full credit. Now, do get this off your plate and submit it as quickly as possible, because when it goes past the due date in Skyward, I will start marking zeros in there, actual zeros, not the no count zeros, the definitely count zeros. So get things in on time. It's 11 easy assignments. Over 99% of the answers are given. This should do nothing but help your grade. Folks, this is Yak Math Videos signing out.